Hey everyone, happy Monday. Sorry that this is a little bit earlier than I posted on the calendar. Little baby Reagan decided to take her nap, so I wanted to go live now while I had the time to really dive in. I hope you all don't mind. I wrote out some notes so that I can get really detailed for each and every one of you. I want to make sure that I'm not only incorporating the social media aspect of this week's training, but also how I utilize my social media to create my inviting process and make that a little bit easier. So the first part that I'm going to touch on is kind of how I craft my posts for the week. If you have not established a brand for yourself, that is something that you absolutely want to do. I would recommend making a list of 10 things that describe you, that you really feel like describe your avatar, and who is it that you want to attract. So for me, I post a lot about my family, about my faith, my Shakeology. I post food posts, workout posts, and I make sure that I utilize Instagram stories. So you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Some people have Snapchat and then they're doing Facebook stories and Insta stories. I would say focus on one platform as far as the Insta story. And really master that. Instagram is getting really competitive with their Insta stories, so try to make your Insta stories pretty. I wouldn't really focus on inviting on every single platform as far as Snapchat and Facebook stories, but I would absolutely make sure that whichever one you do use, that you master it and you make an invite post on there at least 3 times a week. So I know you kind of get, some you kind of get double standards when it comes to posting about your Shakeology. Obviously, you don't want to post a picture of you kissing your Shakeology bottle or, with your 365er cup in every single picture. But I like my following to know that I am drinking my superfoods because it is a huge part of my transformation. So I get mason jars. I make my pictures look really pretty. I get my dog in the picture. My dog's plural, but only one really ever sits for the picture. I get, the girls in the picture. I make sure that I'm sharing that I'm using the performance line and my Energize. So you want to still prove that you're being a product of the product. So I'm not saying you want to go out and flash your Shakeology bottle around everywhere you go, because we are not a walking Beachbody billboard. You are your own business, but you still want people to know that you are doing the vital behaviors every day. So for me, I am sharing at least 3 times a day on my Instagram, if not more. I always shoot to post 5 times a day, and you will almost always see a family or a faith post on there. I usually incorporate faith in with my posts, which I think a lot of people find funny because I do, I don't swear really bad, but I do swear a little bit in those posts. So they see that, okay, she's a Christian girl, but she's also really down to earth, and she has a crazy family. They see that I'm drinking my superfoods, they see that I'm doing my workout, and they see that I'm utilizing my Insta stories. I am always sharing my workout moves on my Insta stories. Be careful, don't share music in them because they will shut your Instagram down. But I'm always sharing at least 5 workout moves every single day that I do my workout. And with your Insta stories, that is going to get you a huge reach, guys. If you are not using Insta stories, you are doing yourself a tremendous disservice. Hi, Annie. Thank you so much for tuning in. I was really stubborn about this because I could talk all day, but when it comes to staged talking or doing calls like this, I get really nervous. So I found myself constantly deleting and redoing Insta stories. People just want to see the real you. I find that the most amount of engagements that I get on my Insta stories are when I'm doing something weird, or I make a mistake, or I stumble over my words and then I make a goofy face and I post it anyways, because they want to see I'm not perfect, I'm a normal human being, and that they can relate to that and do this too. But your Insta stories, I know my upline has done kind of a little, they've played around with it a little bit. Her husband didn't post at all on his Instagram, and just by posting on Insta stories, he was still gaining followers every week. So your Insta stories is what is going to get you boosted out into the Explore page, and with Instagram, that is a huge part of being successful in building your following on Instagram, is getting on that Explore page. So if you are not doing Insta stories, find things to do Insta stories about, and don't just make it about food and fitness. Make it fun. So share what you're doing. If you're going shopping, if you have kids, I know my child loves to throw Cheerios all over the floor and then get into the dog food, and people love that. They love to see who you are. So and make sure that I'm molding all of those into my social media every single day. So my social media is not just fitness, it is not just Beachbody. My social media is my life, and people love to see that. And since I made that transition in my business, that is when I've started to, sorry, I had a phone call, that compound effect kind of just take place. So that is one thing I would absolutely recommend is doing that. And to kind of shift into how I plan my posts weekly, I hope you guys don't mind. Again, I'm going to be shifting through my notes because I want to make sure I'm covering everything. So on Sunday, I always do a call to action. And I want to piggyback off of what Casey touched on in her Q&A on Saturday, is she said, always make sure that you're switching up your transformation posts. This is true. However, if you have a transformation post that is hitting the Explore page every single time you post it, you share the hell out of that, all right? Like, I have the same transformation that I post every single Sunday with, I have 2 captions that I alternate it with. I post it every single Sunday with the exact same hashtags, and I tag the exact same things in that post. Every single time I post it, it hits the Explore page, and it gets at least 700 to 1,000 likes. Every single time, and I always say, comment interested below, email me, and every single time I do that, interested. So I'm not going to switch something up that's working for me, right? So if it's working for you, keep it. If it's not working for you, then change it. Obviously, I throw in other transformation posts throughout the week. I love to do one on Wednesday because it kind of breaks the week up a little bit. And a lot of people really aren't doing transformations on Wednesday. They're usually doing them on, like, whatever, Transformation Tuesday, Throwback Thursday, Flashback Friday. So on Wednesday, there's not really as many transformation posts. So I like to do mine on Wednesdays. And then I usually will do call to actions on Monday night for the coaching opportunity, Thursday night for the coaching opportunity, and I'll talk about my past because Throwback Thursday. And then usually on Friday, I will do some sort of call to action leading into the weekend, because people probably aren't going to be responding to my messages, but they are going to be scrolling through their social media. So I do like to make sure that I'm doing call to actions, whether it's a transformation post or a coaching post, every single night. I love to use the more like professional photos for my call to action for coaching, and then more of the real life, I'm in the moment workout or actual transformation posts for my physical transformation. So every Sunday, I post a physical transformation. Not only am I posting this on my actual Instagram page, but I'm posting it on my Facebook like page, and I'm also doing a call to action in my Insta stories, because some people aren't going to see your post on your Instagram. But if your Insta stories is getting fed to the top because Instagram has boosted it, they're going to see your Insta stories. So make sure that you're promoting it on both platforms. So Sunday is my call to action. Monday. Now, if you are growing your social media and you still have a small social media, I'm going to cover that. But if your social media is kind of already established and you're getting a lot of engagement, on Mondays, my Mondays are strictly for reaching out to every single person that commented interested on my post, sent me an email, filled out my Google form, or have interacted with me in some sort of way based on that transformation. So it's usually between 26 and 70 something emails or messages on Monday. So that right there is where I focus my time. I'm diving into PD. I'm always listening to the National Wake Up Calls. I'm always sharing my morning posts as far as like drinking my shake. My workout usually comes a little bit later, but I'm always making sure that I'm following up with those people that show their interest right away, because those are the people that are already biting, and that's where your time needs to be delegated to. So Mondays are strictly for me replying to everyone that has shown interest. Tuesdays, I message people who may have only liked or commented on my transformation, but might not have necessarily said that they were interested. So maybe they gave me some hearts and said, "Oh my God, girl, you look so amazing." Or maybe they just showed some love on my post, and I'm just sending them, hey girl messages. Might not work for you. I actually talk that way. So when I message my best friend, I don't say like, "Hey Teresa." I'm always like, "Hey girl, hey." So, or I'm always like, "Oh my God, hey beautiful, hey gorgeous." Like, that's just how I talk. So when I send a "Hey girl" message, it usually actually says "Hey girl" or "Hey gorgeous." If that doesn't work for you, don't use that. Find a different way to word it that works for you. But I always am like, "Hey gorgeous, oh my gosh, thank you so much for showing love on my transformation posts. Even after being a coach for 2 years, I still get nauseous when I share my transformation. It means so much to me that you just clicking the like button to show that you're in my corner or something like that. Make it specific to them, and by doing that, I like to make sure that I'm like scrolling through their Instagram really fast. So if they have a private Instagram, obviously that makes it harder. I still shoot them a hey girl message, and then I follow them back if they respond to me. But if they don't respond to me, I'm not going to follow them back, because you never know, it could just be a bot. But if they're not private, I am making sure that I'm scrolling through their Instagram and then I am seeing something about them. So maybe they're pregnant, maybe they have dogs too, maybe they like to hike, maybe they're on a vacation, and I always throw a little something in there with that, hey, thank you so much for following, or thank you so much for showing love on my transformation post. It means so much to me. I see that you love to hike. Oh my gosh, I live right near a park and we like to go hiking too. Where's your favorite place to go? And like, make it about their life, and they're gonna respond when they're like, oh, okay, like she doesn't only care about the fact that I liked her fitness post and that they probably know by now that you're a Beachbody coach. I mean, most people, unless they haven't heard of Beachbody, they know that you're a coach. Oh no, that's okay, totally fine. So that's what I do on Tuesdays. So Tuesday is specifically for people that have liked or commented on those call to action posts. Wednesdays is when I delegate my time to message my new followers. So yes, I actually plan out which days I message which people, because I was getting too overwhelmed. And I will show you, I have a color-coded notebook. And in my color-coded notebook is where I put all these people based on their category. Some people aren't pen and paper people. I also, so like then you're in the pink section, I also use Google Streak to track this, but I only organize my Google Streak one time a month, and I will get there based on the inviting process. But I use everything pen and paper to track my reach outs during the week. So Wednesdays are for my new followers, and I will reach out to my new followers. And again, if you aren't getting a ton of new followers, I'm going to kind of help you try to get some new followers to make this transition a little bit easier. But I'm always messaging my new followers, and I'm just letting them know that I appreciate them following my journey. And with that, establishing a really good relationship with them. You'll find that they're in your territory now. Like, they followed your page, unless they're a bot. They followed your page because you inspire them in some sort of way. So whether they're inspired by the fact that you're a crazy hot mess mom like I am, or have a badass transformation, or you have a dog too, like, they followed you for some reason. So they're in your territory now. So by you shooting them a message, like, you're only inviting them, like, hey, like, you liked my page, I just wanna show you some love. And you know what, like, if they don't get back to you, that's fine. But I always make sure I'm messaging my new followers, because they're following you for a reason and they are in your territory now. So Thursdays I delegate to my Insta stories and recognition. So I go through, I find 26 people that have consistently watched my Insta stories, always watch the end, otherwise you're gonna literally be making a list of 400 people. So you wanna make sure that you go to the last Insta story that you posted, because you'll see the numbers are gonna start to drop. And every time the number starts to drop, you're like, oh shit, what did I say? That like someone isn't interested in my life or whatever. Like, I'm interested in like almost everyone I follow, but like sometimes we just don't have time for that shit. And sometimes like they're just gonna hop off your Insta story. It's like nothing personal, but I like to recognize the people that have watched all my Insta stories to the end, because obviously they're stalking you for a reason. They want to know what you're doing. And even if they've turned you down a million times, because I have a ton of people that watch all my Insta stories to the end every single time, and every time I post a transformation post, they're the same people watching it, and every time I invite them, they still always say no, but one day they're gonna say yes. And I always make sure that I follow those people to the end, and I shoot them a message. So Thursdays are for Insta stories, and I also like to delegate that time to recognition. So I try to get as far as I possibly can with my Insta stories, as far as reaching out to new people and building that connection. But most of that time during the day is recognizing my team, and kind of like a catch-up day, because when you're reaching out to, at this point in the game, guys, like, we should not be doing the bare minimum of reach outs. I do at least 26 reach outs a day. I follow the Haley Christian approach. I mentioned that in my intro video. You should be doing at least 26. Jocelyn, this might be too much ice, but anyway, you could post a quick week at a glance of, yes,
Yeah, okay, so I actually have a little type up that I'm going to post for you guys, but I will cover that in 1 second. But just because I'm a scatterbrain, I'm going to finish my little train of thought and then I will answer that, I promise. But I kind of use it as a catch-up day, but at this point in the game, there's no reason why you should only be reaching out to 10 people a day. Like, you should, like, want this so bad that, like, you can reach out to people until you're freaking blue in the face. The only reason I do only 26 reach outs a day is because I also work in pockets of time because I have a child that is under 1 and she like is sometimes loves to just be on mommy's hip 24/7. But that does not mean that I'm only reaching out to 26 people. There are also a ton of people emailing me back, a ton of people in my Facebook inbox, a ton of people in my Instagram inbox, in my Facebook like page, or so I'm still interacting with like probably at least 100 people a day. And that is what the fire that you need to have in this business to move your business forward. So if you're at like the bare minimum of reach outs, like you have to step up your game and you just need to freaking bite the bullet, eat the frog, whatever the hell you want to call it, and freaking step up your game because that is the only way you're going to move your business forward. Friday is when I reach out to all of my coaches and all of my challengers. So I don't do any inviting on Friday. And there's a reason for this because, again, people are not going to respond on the weekend. It just does not work for me. Maybe it works for you, but for me in the past, like, inviting has not worked for me on Fridays, so I don't do hey girl messages on Friday, and I sure as hell don't do new reach outs on Friday. So this is just me strictly. They're both. So my diamond, when I was a diamond, my business was strictly built on my warm market. I did not have a cold market following at all. I believe I started with like maybe 300 followers on my Instagram, all of which were friends of mine on Facebook from my warm market. But I have since, like, now most of my challengers are almost all cold market. Almost all of my coaches that I'm recruiting are also all cold market. But I started with a very small social media, and I'm going to kind of explain in a second how I built my small social media following just by me reaching out like a freaking badass. But yeah, so it's a little bit of both. I still have a little bit of my warm market trickling in, but I dare say that even some of my warm market is really my cold market. It's girls that I've connected with when I first became a coach that I never knew before, but I've just stayed connected with over 2 years that now feel like they're a part of my warm market. My warm market is pretty tapped after 3 years, so I'm diving into cold market, but it's slow. It's going to be really slow for a while. Take it from someone that had to hustle like a mofo. Watching a lot. So Sammy, who's going to be doing the call on Wednesday, she has an amazing social media. So she's one of those people where, like, I don't want to dare say that Success Club came easy for her, but she just kind of always had an amazing cold market. I didn't have that. So when I hit literally I grew my business on hustle. Like, I did not grow my business because, like, I was posting transformations and people were automatically just, like, inspired and, like, wanted to join me. Like, I had to hustle and grind for, like, a solid 2 years to where I even have gotten to the point now where now people are coming to me. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the compound effect. This is what happens when you want to give up so bad because you're so freaking frustrated by every other person out there that you see that has like 10K followers hitting Success Club 40, and you're like, what the hell? Like, my livelihood depends on this, or I want this more than anything. And when you want to give up because you're just hustling so damn hard to even hit Success Club 6, and there's people that are hitting Success Club 40 that are on your team, and you're like, why can't that be me? But the fact that you didn't give up, that's freaking hustle and grind, and it will pay off, and I promise you it will, because I was that person. Like, my coaches, like, they're like, Jessica, like, you went from hitting, my first year as a coach, I skin of my teeth, Success Club 5. Up until, like, probably 6 months ago, I was grinding hard to hit Success Club 10 by the end of the month, because I was like, after Summit, I was like, Success Club 10 needs to be my non-negotiable. And it isn't until just recently that I've upped my game to at least Success Club 20 every single month to move my business forward. And I can hit Success Club 10, like, pretty much by the 10th almost every month, but I'm still hustling to get Success Club 20. But that did not come, like, immediately. It came from me building a business based off of a very small social media following and just not giving up. Because it would have been easy for me to throw in the towel because I was working 70 to 90 hours a week, and then surprise baby, still lots of debt that we were trying to pay off, having to, basically my life just kind of went all haywire. It would have been really easy for me to just be like, you know what, like, I can't put my time into this. Like, I'm stressing myself out. But I knew that if I quit, I would be quitting just before the magic happens. So that's why, as frustrating it is, you guys just have to keep hustling, because I promise you, if you believe in yourself and you have that vision board and you set, like, you put that vision out into the universe, like, you will be successful. It is just a matter of time and a matter of hustle and working smarter, not harder. So yeah, Friday is just my coaches and challenger day. That's like who I reach out to. And that's just to like I love to give my challengers love. And I basically just like shoot them a message like, I just wanted to give you some motivation to keep you through the weekend. You've been crushing the challenge group, and weekends are the hardest part for me. So I just want to know that we're going to be in this together. Please let me know if you have any questions. Keep crushing it in the challenge group. So just like that little motivation, that one-on-one with them really gives them like, oh my gosh, like she really does care about me. And I always message all of my coaches, all my PS coaches. So, you know, and my leaders, I make sure that I, you know, set that tone for them. Make sure that you're diving in and pouring into your coaches, that we can build up that feeling of tribe and love and community, because that's what they're really here for. So I use Friday as my day just to reach out to my coaches and my challengers, because people don't really respond on weekends, especially when you're doing reach outs or inviting via social media. Saturday is just my content day, and that's just the day that I build content for my social media and kind of just like jot down ideas of maybe what I want to post, but also when I pick out videos and trainings that I want to do for my team. So that's kind of like the structure of my week. And now I'm going to kind of utilize or explain how I utilize that to build my social media from nothing to something. So I'm going to flip back in my notes. Let me just figure out where I was. Okay, so when I started with my social media, it was, again, really, really small. So something I had to do was I had to find a set of hashtags that fit my brand and that fit my target audience. And I had to go through those hashtags, guys. Like, this is like, because, you know, we all know, like, Instagram got shut down and all that good stuff. I had to go through those hashtags, and I had to find girls that fit my brand. And I would find as many girls as I possibly could in my allotted power hour time, and I would screenshot them. And I keep an album on my phone of prospects, and I screenshot their Instagram, and then I add them, and then I would put their notifications on so that when they would post, I would be able to, you know, show some love on their posts, because we want to make sure that we are pouring into our, you know, our potential prospects and who we think fits our brand. So I would do, you know, 5 likes, 3 comments, 1 message, and I would try to connect with as many people as I possibly could in order to help me hit Success Club. So now we know that, like, you're not going to shoot someone a message on the 1st of the month, and the chances of them ordering by the 30th of the month is pretty slim. Like, we kind of know that by now. It's really, this is a business built on relationships, so you can't expect to shoot someone a message on the 1st of the month and hit Success Club 5 right off the bat with all people from your cold market, because it's not going to happen. So you want to make sure that you've been maintaining those connections with people in your warm market, but you have to be making new connections with people in your cold market, because those are the people that are going to help build your social media to get it to where you want it to go, where you're getting that traction and that engagement in your post. So I would basically do 5 likes, 3 comments, and then 1 message, and I would always kind of just see where the conversation leads. I don't have a script. I don't like scripts. The only time I use a script is when I have people interested in my challenge group and I have mass emails I need to send. Otherwise, I am I want to know who you are as a person, and like I want to dive in with you and like find out like what's in your heart. So I do not use scripts. So my inviting process is very like one-on-one like basis. And I go based off of how the conversation is going. Obviously, I don't want to keep the conversation going much more than 2 weeks without inviting them to either a free group, a challenge group, or a coach preview. But I am always making sure that I'm just going based off of their vibes. So I will say, you know, I'll invite them to something, and then if they say no to a challenge group, I'll always invite them to a free group. Or if I invite them to a challenge group and they say yes, and then I send them all the information, I will follow up with them one time before, if they haven't submitted their order, and I'll say, hey, I know that you were super excited to join our challenge group. Just a reminder, it starts Monday. You know, no obligation at all. I just saw that you hadn't submitted yet. Is there anything that I could help you with? Let me know. a lot of times they're like, oh my gosh, I just totally forgot, like, thank you so much for reminding me, and they'll submit. Then, if they didn't submit it by the time the group starts, I will wait till the end of the month, and I will, yeah. So I'll wait, it's usually about 2 weeks though, so because our challenges are like 21 days. So I'll wait almost until the end of the month, and I'll be like, hey girl, I know you were really interested in joining, and I'll use, for example, our October challenge. I'm so sorry that you missed out on it this round, but I wanted to let you know I'm gearing up for our November challenge. If you'd like, I can send you a new invoice. Is there anything that I could clarify to make it a little bit, easier for you to submit and to join us? I would love to have you. So that's usually my second follow-up with them. My third follow-up with them is about nothing that has to do with the challenge group or about coaching at all. I will literally send them a Pinterest link, and I'll be like, oh my god girl, I was scrolling through Pinterest and I saw this and I absolutely had to send it to you because I thought of you. And it will be like something not even fitness related. It will be about like one girl was like super into office supplies. Oh, thanks girl. With this one girl's into office supplies. So I like sent her a Pinterest link on like how to do like these DIY like organization sheets, and I was like, girl, I like totally thought of it. She was like, oh my god, it's a great way to pick up the conversation again and take the pressure off of them. So I always follow up with them at least 3 times until I kind of put them on this wait a little while list. And by wait a little while, it's kind of like I feel it out. Like, some months are just better than others, and if I have a month where I'm like, holy shit, like, I'm like, really trying to crank for SC20 and I need like a few more lives to change, and I'm like, crap, like I have no one, like, those are like the people that I'm like, okay, I gotta follow up with this person because like I've already built that relationship with them. But I don't have like this whole like put someone on a waiting list for 6 months or like a year. Like, I basically just put them on like a follow-up list, and that follow-up list is, okay, I've already followed up with them 3 times immediately within like this past month or the past 3 months. So now I just need to maintain connection, and I still will comment and like on all their stuff, but that's kind of how I just maintain connection with them. Instagram makes it a little bit easier because you can turn the notifications on for them. If you're friends with them on Facebook, I find that if you've been messaging them, Facebook boosts their posts to the top of your feed because they see that you're engaging with them. So that does make it a little bit easier. So just making sure that you are still sending them messages. Oh, look at this, guys. I'm sweating so hard right now, and I have like hives. Like, I'm not lying when I tell you I get nervous about doing live calls, and I'm like sweating. It's like hot in here, and I'm always cold. So damn, I'm just gonna be real with y'all because we're all friends here. So literally I have hives. But yeah, so Facebook makes it a little bit harder to maintain connection, which is why I say, find a system that works for you to organize it and stick with it. I'm a pen and paper girl. I do use Streak to kind of keep things in one spot, but as far as like my everyday inviting recruiting process, that is what I do. So now let's say that they are already in a challenge group. Then I always invite them to the coaching opportunity. I don't care if they are involved in the challenge group or not. Oh no. I think my thing is okay, because normally it will like tell me my internet is being shitty. So, and I'll save like this recording so that if you guys have any issues, I can always send it to you. But I know we'll post right to the group. So if someone's already in a challenge group, they've already said yes, they've committed to a challenge group, even if they have not been participating in the My Challenge Tracker app, they haven't responded to any of my emails, they fell off the face of the earth, they haven't been responding to my Facebook messages or posting their sweaty selfies in the group, I still invite them to the coaching opportunity. And you will be so surprised, even if they don't want to work the business, they still want a discount on Shakeology, because a lot of them are just people that want the support from behind the scenes. They don't really want to be, that super involved in the group. They just want help hitting their own health and fitness goals, and they'll still want the discount on Shakeology. So I'm always inviting for the coaching opportunity. If they are freaking crushing the challenge group and like literally just like mind-blowing me away, like hell yeah, I shoot them a message like the first week of the challenge group. I don't even wait. I'm like, oh my god girl, like you are freaking inspiring the hell out of me. Like, I need you on my team. Like, you are inspiring so many people. Like, I can't even tell you, there was a day where I struggled with my workout, and I saw your post, and it made me want to work out. Like, have you ever considered doing what I do? And then I'll get them in a coach preview, usually during the 2nd or the 3rd week of our challenge group, so before the challenge ends, so that they see exactly what we do as a coach, so that by the end of the group, if they're ready to enroll as a coach, I'm like, all right, let's do this. You're going to not only get a discount on your Shakeology, but you already have freaking badass results because you've been showing up every day. Share those results, and you're going to freaking rock this. So if they've already done a challenge, like, inviting to the coaching opportunity is easy peasy, guys. Like, it should be a no-brainer. You should not even be afraid to ask people. Like, I want you guys to think about how flattered you were when your coach asked you to be a coach. Like, tell me that was not the best feeling in the entire world. Like, seeing my coach, like, when she asked me to be in a coach preview and she thought that I was worthy to, like, do what she does, and I thought, oh my god, this girl that, like, literally is a hot mess express all the time, like, debt and drugs and all this shit, and, like, this girl thinks I'm worthy to do this. Like, holy shit, like, that's amazing. It is, like, the biggest form of flattery. And you know what, if coaching isn't for them, it's not for them, but, like, you cannot be selfish and keep this blessing from other people, because that is exactly what it is. It is being selfish. Hands down, like, that is like getting the best freaking slice of pizza in your entire life, and then, like, not telling your best friend where you got that pizza from. Like, that's a shitty friend. I'm sorry. So you gotta be a good friend, and, like, you have to tell them where you got the pizza from. Like, that's what I got with that. So with coach previews, now let's say I have someone that is, like, completely cold market, and, like, we have just been vibing. Like, I've done the reach out, we are having an amazing conversation going, and, like, we're just vibing off one another, and, like, she's already into health and fitness, or has, like, an amazing social media, and, like, she's asking me a lot of questions about what I do. I don't even, like, go to the challenge group. I go, you know what, like, just from talking with you, like, you would be freaking amazing at doing what I do. Like, I feel like I'm super connected with you, and I really just want to be best friends with you. Like, would you mind checking out my coach preview? I send them a link to my Facebook page. So if you go in your Safari browser, because I know people struggle with this, so I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. Go to your Safari browser, not your Facebook app, your Safari browser. Go to your profile. So you have to actually click on your profile picture and go to your profile. Copy that link and save it in the notes section of your phone. I say, I would love if we could be Facebook friends, and if you could add me here, and then I can add you to our coach preview so that you can learn a little bit more about what I do. 9 times out of 10, they add me as a friend on Facebook, and they always join the coach preview. And in our coach previews, curiosity marketing is key, guys. Like, yeah, I talk about my results, and I talk about, you know, a little bit about the All Access Pass and how these programs have changed my life, but I don't really dive in with the cost of Shakeology and the cost of the challenge pack and every single program. I literally tell my story, and I tell them about the emotional transformation that I've made, and I talk to them about the community, because community is everything, guys. People can buy Beachbody everywhere, but people are investing in you, and they're investing in your tribe. So, like, that's what they want to hear about. They don't want to hear about where you can order and what to sign up with, because that's all things that you can take offline and chat with them. I find that my best the best months that I have for recruiting don't even come from months where I have high SC numbers of challengers. It comes from months where I focus on recruiting based off of the community and getting them and running as many coach previews as I possibly can. So you have to go based off of how you're feeling. If someone might be a better challenger, invite them to a challenge group. If someone is going to make an amazing coach, invite them to the coaching opportunity. I know that Beachbody wants everyone to be a challenger first, but the great thing about Success Starters and the Success Starter program is it's their first actual full month as a coach. So if they sign up in the middle of the month, they have the whole rest of the month to complete their challenge group. That following month, and then that next month is when their first Success Starter month starts. So they still have the opportunity to get badass results already signed up as a coach. So that takes that next scary step out of it for them. So they don't feel like they have to be playing catch up. So just remember that. So, like, no scripts. I have, like, just a little bit left. I know, guys, this is, like, going long, but I wanted to make sure that I gave you guys all the details so that you had, like, a bomb-ass training to look back on, and you could be like, all right, like, she gave me all of her secrets. So, again, I told you guys how when my social media was really small, I searched the hashtags of Instagram. So I find hashtags that fit my brand. I would do 5 likes, 3 comments, and a message. Now, if those people that I messaged did not get back to me, I would shoot them 3 messages. I would shoot them within the course of a month, so I'd make sure I tracked it. I would shoot that girl 3 messages. If by the 3rd message she did not get back to me, she was off my radar. Because chances are she has a fake Instagram or, like, whatever. She just doesn't use it anymore. So I no longer waste my time with that. Also, with that, I am a freaking level 10 coach. You guys are level 10 coaches, and that's, you need to start thinking of your guys' yourself as a 15-star diamond coach. Like, I represent myself that I'm already a 15-star diamond coach. Like, we are all level 10 coaches, and we need to be representing ourselves as such. If someone is giving you the cold shoulder, or they're, like, giving you one-word responses when you reach out to them, like, oh my god, hey girl, blah, 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 like, you're, like, pouring your heart out to them, and you're, like, super excited using emojis and whatnot, and this freaking girl is giving you, like, one-word responses, like, bye, Felicia, alright? I'm just gonna be real. I used to try to force life out of everyone. Some people just, you cannot force life out of. And you know what? Maybe in the future they'll come back to you. Maybe they're following you, and, like, I have girls that, like, literally still follow me, like, and comment on all of my pictures, and then whenever I message them, they give me, like, these weird one-word responses, and I'm like, what do you want me to do with that? Like, no, I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting my time. So, you are level 10 coaches. Treat your business like a level 10 freaking business. So, if someone is giving you a cold shoulder, or, like, acting like they're disinterested, move on to the next. Because you know what? The universe is putting all that good stuff that you're vibing out to everyone else, and those people are just going to have to wait in the back of the line. Because you're in the front of the line, and you're up here, and they just got to bring themselves up to your level. Because if they're just giving you the cold shoulder, move on. Bye, Felicia. That's the one thing I had to learn. I was wasting so much time because I wanted a big social media following, and I wanted everyone to like me, that I was, like, pouring my heart into these girls that were, like, disinterested, and I was, like, taking literal offense to them, like, giving me one-word responses. Don't take offense to it. They're just not your girl. Or maybe they're just not your girl right now, but bye, Felicia, move on to the next, because they're not worth your time. So treat your business like the $1 million business that it has the potential to be, and let people know you're a level 10 coach. If people are being negative Nancy's, and they're bitching about the price, like, I always tell people, like, have you ever read PD? And they're like, what's personal development? And I'm like, well, you know, sometimes, like, life just throws us these limes, and we try to make lemonade out of it, and I explained to them that, like, you're just too negative for me right now, so, like, maybe you need to get some PD, and, like, then we'll chat. Because some people just, like, really want to bring you down. People are bitching out the price. If people are just, like, ghosting you, like, they're not your person. Move on to the next. Because they're just not worth your time. So when you have small social media following, the best thing you can do is just to keep connecting with more people and post like you would say something. So if you are like, I would post like I'm talking to you guys right now. Like, I would use, like, crazy emojis, like, let people know, like, this is me, and, like, this is how I talk. I'm scatterbrained. I use literally when I'm not supposed to use literally. I say like. That is how I post. So, that is really what I have as far as building your social media and inviting. I add 10 people every single day to my Facebook, and then I mass invite to my like page one time a week. I don't randomly message those 10 new ads every day. I basically, like, secretly stalk them and kind of do, like, that like comment thing, until they see enough of my transformation posts, or they're usually like, okay, like, this girl's a badass, like, I want to do whatever she's doing. And I follow up with my streak one time a month. So I use Streak in Google Docs to organize my invites. So I basically have a free group doc, a coach preview doc, and a challenge group doc. And every person that was in my free group goes in the free group doc. Every person that was in my coach preview goes in the coach preview doc. Every person that was in my challenge group goes in the challenge group doc. And that's challenge group as in, like, they purchased this month, so I have to follow up with them about their Shakeology. From there, I plug people into my streak so that I know where they fall in, like, in my inviting process. If you're not familiar with Streak, please watch a YouTube video on it. It is absolutely amazing. It is a wonderful CRM program. It is free. They do have an upgraded version. But also in there, I have a Facebook tab, and I have an Instagram tab. And I keep track of every single person that I'm having, like, really good conversation with. So not just, like, I sent one hey girl message to. I track the people that I'm having really good conversations with, and those are the people that I track in my streak. Because maybe I invited them, and maybe they just never responded to me, and my life got away from me that month, but I always make sure I go back through my messages one time a month, and I delegate 3 hours to it one time a month. So it's towards the end of the month when I've already hit my goals, and that is how I organize my streak. But if you guys do not have a system that you are using to stay organized with your invites, you need to get one, because a pen and paper is great, but it is not going to there's going to be holes, so things are going to fall through the cracks. So you need to make sure that you have some sort of other system in place to back it up. So that is all I had. I'm going to go through and I'm going to read these. Whoops. So sorry. The way this is propped up is So step up your game because that's the only way you move your business forward. Sorry, Casey, I'm reading. Okay.
I think I'm to the top.
Top now.
Okay, yes. So I'm
Glad that that was helpful. I definitely would recommend. I use the Happy Planner, or like the 365 Planner. I'm actually gonna show it to you in my.
But you can see, like, so I have checklists.
And it basically tells me like who I'm gonna invite and reach out to every day. Like, this was last week for me. Okay, like this was how crazy my last week was. Like this is where I keep everything. It doesn't have to look pretty. It just has to be like legit. So I always schedule who I'm gonna chat with every single day. But is there any way you could post a quick week at a glance with how you message for a quick reference? Okay, so I will post that document in here. Basically, I
Have this little, I'm going to show you like kind of exactly my step-by-step. Let me get to a good page for you here. Because there's so many. Oh,
I'm not even in the right notebook.
Okay, so
You can kind of see
in here, so this is kind of at a quick glance like how many
people I'll message on a day. And I can also put in there kind of like some of my Hey Girl messages. I don't really use templates. I'm not really a huge fan of templates. I don't really like to promote using them. But I will definitely put some of those in there, like things that I've used. So yes, I answer that they're mainly cold market. Step up your game because the only way you move your business forward.
Yes. Okay, so short
Girl Fitness on Instagram is Sammy Glenick's Insta. She is amazing. Make sure you follow her. She's absolutely incredible. I cannot wait for you guys to hear from her because she's freaking badass.
Yes, so don't really let
Conversations go for much longer than 2 weeks without following up, because that's kind of when people are going to become disinterested. But again, like, obviously you cannot spend every waking minute only following up with people, so come up with some sort of system that feels right for you. Always make sure you're following up at least once or twice within that first initial month of connecting. But after that, just, you know, do what kind of like your heart feels best. Like, I think we're all pretty good as like coaches with like living with intuition and like
kind of knowing how to lead with your heart. So
just kind of go with like what feels best for that.
Yes. Okay, so
I could have been easily like one of those people that was just like, I'll never be one of those coaches that will hit
Success Club 10 by the 10th.
And like I always like held that back as like a limiting factor of myself because I just thought like I don't have enough followers, blah blah blah. Like if you hold yourself to like a standard that is like up here, like you hold yourself to a standard of like you are a 15-star diamond coach, whether you have 2 followers or 22,000 followers, like eventually you will get there. Like you just need to level up and you need to like just work your freaking ass off to get to where that person is, because eventually if you grind hard enough, like guys, I'm playing catch up. Like there are some legit leaders on our team that I don't think they thought like, oh, like Jesslyn, like she's a 2-star diamond coach, but like her following kind of sucks. Like I was only ever hitting like SC10 like as a 2-star diamond coach. Like I don't think they really thought that I was shit. Now they're all like, holy shit, Jesslyn's like coming up, and like I'm freaking catching up. Like don't let those limiting factors hold you back. So freaking, you know, level up. I'm having major internet problems right now, raining weather, so I apologize.
I think, yes, Casey, you got it all covered for me. Yes. Yes, so I think I covered them all. Yes, so Casey, you got them all. Thank you.
I will make sure that I'm posting that document for you guys. I'm going to get working on that now. Thank you guys for letting me share my heart with you today. If there's any other questions you guys have, I literally wrote out like 10 pages of notes for you guys. So thank you for letting me ramble. I just wanted to spill all the beans for you. So thank you guys. Post your questions below, and I cannot wait to hear from our guest speakers this week.